the way out.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show's on the air. Great to have you along. Got a big show for you today. Looking forward to talking to Mary about what she's been complaining about for years and years and years, and that's the impending college tuition. And you are on death's door.
It's knocking. It's knocking.
I mean, not death's door.
No, it's not death's door, but it's financial death door.
Yeah.
You know, it's intense.
Did I over hear you talking about groceries when I went to the door?
Oh, that's the other thing. It's crazy.
It's almost as expensive as
groceries. And I got really used to Instacarting during COVID, and then I'm just a busy mom, so I'm like, Instacart. Yeah. And then I look at the line items, and I'm thinking, what the heck? I'm getting charged, but I also kind of sometimes don't care.
Question. Do you go to the grocery store?
I hate the
Yeah.
Seaside Market?
Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah.
If you ever
Convenient.
Do you go to the grocery store?
Absolutely.
You go walk in?
Yep.
And were you anybody else Instacart or grocery store? Any hands on?
Both.
Me too. I'm hands on.
I'm
hands on.
Yeah,
Unless,
for sure.
Unless Matt's over with his bunch of hooligans, and then it's an Instacart, because Bevmo Instacart.
Yeah, right.
You
got to squeeze the
As
milk.
long as you show your driver's
Yeah.
license, they take a picture of it. I will argue over a 19-cent can of peas. Mm-hmm. Yet we'll go spend how much money at the Padre game? Betting,
Right.
Like Mike talked about the other day. Betting a worthless money on worthless beer and bad peanuts.
Yep.
Actually, the peanuts at the Padre games are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
You're not a peanut guy?
I'm a brat.
See, I'll sneak my chips in from home because I don't want to buy those.
Ooh, that's a good
I'll
idea.
sneak the food in,
But are you that
then I'll pay the
parsimonious?
$20 for Instacart.
But are you parsimonious about that type of stuff? Like, are you a label looker when you go to the grocery store?
I'm more now because everything is crazy expensive.
Give me an example.
But I don't.
Can I give you an example off grocery store?
Yeah.
Bought a breakfast burrito at your place.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Mexico Viejo.
$11.
Yeah, right.
$10.90.
It's happening.
Right.
Now, the thing was the size of my phone. I'm not kidding. The thing was from here to here.
It's big.
And you can save the rest for later.
Exactly right.
They don't practice shrinkflation.
Right.
No, they don't. By the way, it covered because I eat a third of the times. I hate feeling full.
Yep.
So that lasted me, breakfast and lunch. Mm-hmm. But the long story short is, if it's high there, and we're just accepting $10 burritos, then it's got to be what's the single biggest thing you buy at the grocery store?
Well, you know what? I buy a lot of LaCroix. We'd go through a ton of LaCroix, and I will.
That's the flavored one.
A lot of times it's on sale, so I will go around. Target will have 3 for $9 or whatever it is, and I will find those. I won't buy it when it's not on sale, and that's going to save me $2.
Is it a better deal than Costco's when they have they've got LaCroix all the time, right?
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I don't have a Costco card.
Why?
I don't do Costco.
That's okay.
I never did. In my
Do you know why? Do you know why we are where we are in the world?
I lost it in
our world's here for me is because I worked at Costco. I worked at Price Club, employee number 24, which turned into Costco. Got stock options. Had no idea what they were. Bought my first house. Sold it. Bought the next one. Took some money. Started a business. Yeah. Honestly, that's what.
Price Club money.
Good old Saul Price.
Yeah.
Wow.
We started a company called FedMart.
Oh,
if you want some cheese, James, we're going to what? Vaughn's. If you want to build a house out of cheese, you go to Costco. I mean,
that's my problem. Is I don't need all that
right.
stuff.
I don't have a big family. It's just me.
But you say that obviously because everyone goes right to the 5-gallon thing of mustard. It's like, when am I going to use all this mustard?
But look at how cheap all this mustard is.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But there's other stuff at Costco where they just clean the clocks of grocery stores, Mayor.
Trey, what's the worst decision you've ever made at Costco?
Oh, gosh.
J-Mo?
Probably a box of cereal.
Jim, would you go to Costco?
I do go to Costco.
I like Costco too, man.
Yeah.
I like just cruising through it. Now, I'm one of those guys at Costco that used to have the cart like this. Now, run through, there's like a Chiclets. I think it's Hertz or something like that.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Lots of stuff coming up today. We'll talk more to Mary about that. Also, a new CEO on a company that we revisited before. It's called the Mira Mike Costa College segment. Reshape Life Sciences. The folks who make lap bands will be this a little bit later.
Yep.
They were saying my kids are going to go to Mike Costa College.
Good.
That's all I can afford.
countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. A special happy holidays to the brave men and women of our United States Armed Forces. Thank you for what you do. Costa, Greg Todorov, our executive producer, and of course, Sully.
Great to have you along today. And a big hello to our day trader trio boys. Can you give us a little love there right when you first start?
Hey.
Oh, that's okay.
Yep.
Right, perfect. Used to be a big old blam. Now it's, oh, yeah. There you go. It's Christmas.
Oh, we can give you a blend.
No, it's too late. No, it's too late. That's part of the thing. Are you guys off-ramping for the holidays? Yeah. Howie Font is with us as we continue here. So, Howie, first of all, there's two fronts here. There's the economy and there's the stock market. And you hear me say it all the time. They're not the same thing. The stock market somewhat is a leading indicator, but we all participate in the economy. Not everyone participates in the stock market. What does this do to the stock market in terms of thinking what's going to happen in terms of interest rates coming up in the Fed decision? Is the Fed decision this week or next week?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
No, it's this week.
See again.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so Fed decision. So what? So buying the rumors, selling the news. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fed has basically let the market price in the cut, so it's just going to give it the cut, and the market's going to continue to go higher. It's pretty top heavy, sure, but I still think we ride this thing like Mike and a Diet Coke and a bag of Funyuns. It's just getting crazier and crazier. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here smiling at you thinking, boy, it must be good to be Howie Font, and then that verbal assault comes out of that angelic
Just calling balls and strikes, Frank.
It's not slander if it's true, Mike.
He's an
it's
analyst.
Not slander if it's
He's
true.
working with data. He's just working with data.
Not slander if it's true.
Hey,
no, I mean, if you look at it, one of your best sayings, Sully, is least dirty shirt in the hamper, and that's exactly what we're guilty of. I mean, when you look at Chinese government debt, the second biggest economy in the world, and how they compare, you see a very different dynamic happening relative to the number one and number two position, the U.S. and the Chinese. I mean, our bonds have not been devalued by 1/3 this year. Theirs have. So, I mean, you got nowhere else to go.
If you think in terms of all this too, remember why this started. This started because of too much money flow into the system, going way back to the stimulus checks. You pump that much money in going all the way back to 1940, you see rapid interest rates right afterwards. And I think we did too many stimulus checks and PPP type programs, which just flooded the economy with money. Now, let's talk about printing money. Let's talk about quantitative easing, which we are the least dirty shirt in the hamper. Everyone prints their own money to buy their own bonds and lives off the profits. And that's how economies of scale, are run. The problem is there's got to be a tipping point. Are we at the end of the tipping point, or are we starting a new cycle here?
If you know the answer to that, you'll make a lot of money. I mean, there's a good investing axiom. If something can't continue forever, it won't. I think that's kind of the situation that we're in.
Sure.
We know it's not going to continue the song and dance, but to be honest, things like the new administration coming in, the Department of Government Efficiency pushed that date out. So maybe we're going to be okay. I think the issue is it's a balance between, are we growing a little bit more than the new money that we print? For every dollar that we print, are we generating $1.01 more? Well, then we're probably going to be okay for a lot longer.
How are you getting a sense from consumer data that everyone's going out this year, they're getting that Tickle Me Elmo, they're buying, they're getting a bunch of presents and stuff,
and the new Tickle Me Cuervo,
and the Tickle Me Cuervo as well.
Yeah, both of those together, not a good family value pack. But yes, the consumer is, especially the American consumer, is just so robust. I mean, we're willing to take on debt and spend during Christmas, and we're at record-setting numbers. Cyber Monday sales, Black Friday, all the big box stores are still doing well. Internet companies, e-commerce is still doing well. So that's an indication that people are spending a lot of money. We'll know more in about a month, but yeah, I think that's probably right, Mike.
Howie, why do we care that Chinese debt is down 33%? What does that say about it? If Chinese government debt is down, what does that say? What does that mean? Number one, what does it say about the U.S.?
Yeah, so you can think of investors as evaluating governments just like they do stocks. Like how good is this government to invest in? How safe is it? You know, what are the chances that I'm going to get my money back? And then tangential, there's also a slight tax benefit to investing in government debt, but that's not important right now.
You're talking about municipal bonds. You're talking about, of course, municipal bond funds and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah. But if you're just buying T-bills or, T-strips, they're called, the shorter-term instruments, you're going to really think, what are the chances that I'm going to get my money back when this bond matures, when it comes due? And people have basically spoken with their pockets, with their wallets, and said, I am 1/3 less likely to believe in China paying me back my money at the end of a 10-year bond versus the U.S. It's pretty stable.
I see. In terms of investing, I see. Okay. So, and where do we stand in terms of the bond yield curve right now? Because the bond yield curve is kind of an ominous curve, telling us if we're overbought or oversold in the stock market. Things are looking pretty strong in terms of fundamentals. But what about all those technical indicators like again, moving averages and bond yields and stuff like that? How are we looking market-wise?
It's so funny. It's so funny. Technically, you would say from the movement I talked about with the Chinese that they're in a recession. They're going to continue to be in a recession. And that's how investors are putting their money to work. And then technically, you watch the same thing happening in the U.S. and they are so fighting the Fed. The secondary bond market. It's actually, there's not been many times like it. And the Fed is moving rates down, and the secondary bond market is saying no. We're seeing them push up technically, like you said, and that just means that people are saying no. The Fed can tell us that the interest rate is 4% all you want, but you really need to be paying 5%, or else we're not buying anything.
Hey, Howie, is China being in a recession a leading indicator for us in any way, shape, or form?
In the short term, yeah, they could shock us. But what we should really focus on in this moment, because of everything else that's happening, is how important of a negotiating tool is it? You'd rather have your negotiating partner in a relatively weaker position, right? So I think that's the opportunity that Chinese recession presents. But yeah, there is really big spillover potential. We've talked about it on the show before. They have a deflationary economy right now. It behooves them to be really inflationary. They have an international economy, and that's going to spill over to us in Europe for sure.
Yeah. Are you guys concerned at all about economically or stock market wise going into 2025?
No. Yeah, Howie mentioned it about what tariffs might do if President Trump levels them against China, against Canada, that type of thing. So I think my radar's up a little bit more than it normally would be going into the new year. What
about just on the cost of stuff? Is that are we just used to it by now, you think?
I think we are, but with President Trump coming out and saying, listen, it's going to be harder to bring groceries down from the prices that they were during the Biden administration. But I go into Costco, there's a billion eggs on these, so I don't think we're at a loss in it, a shortage for anything, and the price as far as some.
So you think supply is so the elasticity of the economy, which is supply-demand economics, right?
Yep.
The lower the supply, the higher the demand, the price goes up.
Right.
You don't think you think we're taking a breather from supply from economic principle right now?
I think
there's
so.
Still plenty of stuff.
Absolutely, there is.
So how
So then, do you think gouging is happening? Is that what you're?
There might be some gouging on certain stuff, but as far as I don't see people running out with pallets or flats of toilet paper like I did when COVID started.
No, but that was but Greg makes a great point, because if it isn't coming down, there's so much stuff.
Exactly.
Then it's got to be because they're artificially high.
inflated.
Yeah.
Howie, what's your take on that?
My take is that, technically you can't have tariffs against another state in the union. So the governor of Canada is,
and I heard the governor's contemplating stepping down.
Yeah, that's true.
From
that's
his governorship.
True. How sad. How sad.
Canada. Yeah.
I think they're important points, and I think that businesses are actually taking the opportunity with inflation in the news to maybe just take a little bit more profit margin for themselves. I think that
which is the very definition of gouging, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they would never, they just slide it in. It's a cost carryover.
And how do you prove it?
Yeah.
Our system didn't catch up. Our system didn't reset.
Exactly, Greg. Yeah.
Hey, Howie, thanks, buddy. We'll see you in a bit.
You're the man, Hal.
Thanks so much.
I just feel, I never thought of that, Greg. You're right. Let's just take one more month of gouging you by another 7%.
He's right. Because
and then take the credit. We're lowering prices.
Inflation is in the news.
Yeah.
So what's the old rule in radio? Play the hits.
That's right. Okay. Boy, I'll tell you, have we talked about software in a million years? Oh, we're about to. Nazib Gowri from a company called NetSol Technology. Gator, I nearly killed her. Oh, sorry, we were talking on the break.
All right, from the Loft 100 Studios, Big Biz Show rolls on. Hope everyone's having a great day. Oh my God, I'm starving.
Is that on the screener? Is that a chicken sandwich with mac and cheese and onion
I need
rings?
all of that.
It's called Heaven on Earth. Mary Godwin and
Right after we have the most healthy person on the planet.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God, look at those.
There's a thing called balance in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mary, you and I are 80-20. We mostly 80-20, like good and 20% bad. Mike is more of a 199 thing.
Easily.
I have to ask you, so when you see those delicious pictures of chicken sandwiches, now you're the most disciplined person I know.
No, I'm not. That
premise just
I can't say anything I heard disagree. You're the most beautiful one. No,
I'm not. No, but I may put that out there, but I'm not. When it comes to this, if I were to see that, I'd be like, give me all the chicken.
So like all of us, you suffer from imposter syndrome?
Maybe a little.
God, I hope they don't find out I'm just a douchebag.
Who doesn't?
I do big time. Yeah. Like, don't you? No, you're like, Mike lives from the neck up. Yeah, Fred Flintstone. Mary, when do you decide that you're going to pull the trigger? Is this because you're no longer hungover anymore? Because I can only imagine the amount of I can only imagine the amount of Jack in the Box bags around your bed at night 10 years ago.
I do not. I did have that, yes. Roberto's, carne asada burrito.
And the worst part is, that you've been overserved when you wake up with full bags of Jack in the Box and you never actually ate it. You just ordered it and it's on the floor.
A trail of guacamole from Roberto's.
That's our new song, by the way.
It is.
We sold it to the Eagles.
What happens with me is that I'm busy and I don't necessarily have the skill set to plan my meals out.
Yeah,
so I'll get to a point where I'm starving.
Just have a couple almonds, Mary.
I do carry cashews, I will say. I have little packets of cashews from Trader Joe's. But
I'd rather have cashews than that.
But then I see this.
But you can't eat 7 packets.
This looks so good.
It's Big Chicken has taken America, and they're also in the UK, by storm.
It's because they're a dental plan in the UK. So, can I say this? Can I tell you what my thing is? If I'm watching a movie or a TV show, and like Yellowstone now, do you know the product placement Yellowstone now is? Fritos.
Oh.
I have 17 bags of Fritos at the house now.
There you go.
No, I saw another. I was binging, and after I stopped binging, I started watching TV. I was watching some shows this week, and the guy went to a place in Washington D.C. called Chili Bowl, and he ordered the basket of fried chicken. I was on the phone with Crack Shack in 10 seconds. I swear, just the hint of this.
It shows you how.
So all of our 125 million TV homes right now are going to order from these guys here.
From Big Chicken.
Thank God we've got Josh Halpern. He's the CEO of Big Chicken, and they are, as you can see, I guess gourmet or
everyone's
essentially a
talking about
torture
him.
place.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Josh, how are you, bud? Good to see you.
Good. How are you? I think I just heard my next sandwich name, the Trail of Guacamole.
It's yours, Josh.
Big Chicken. You'll leave a trail of guacamole walking out. Trail of guacamole.
Now, I don't know if I want to make that claim, but I do like the sandwich name.
Mike's interpretive dance group is called Avocado Skid.
Yeah.
So, Kid. Sorry.
We'll unpack that later.
Yeah, we will. Wow, he's a new host of the show.
I know.
I'm telling you.
It's like a major in a computer. How did you start this business? Were you always in the hospitality business and food and beverage?
No, I spent most of my career actually in consumer packaged goods. I worked for like Anheuser-Busch and Procter & Gamble and some other companies. But I got to know Shaquille O'Neal back in 2015, 2016. worked on a restaurant in Las Vegas with him and his partners. And 5 years later, we kept in touch. And 5 years later, he said, hey, we've got 2 of these big chickens open. I think we're ready to grow. Would really love you to come on board, brother. And we've been together ever since.
How did it feel when he first put you in his pocket?
He actually puts me in a baby Bjorn and just kind of walks around. Right.
Josh, that's hot as hell. Did you approach him in terms of investing or in terms of endorsing? Because obviously, he's got a big footprint, and that's obviously you got great food and such. But that's one of the reasons, I suppose, that you guys started getting on the elevators at the top, right?
Neither. He's not an endorser. He is an investor, but he wanted to create this. He wanted to create a chicken concept. For him, chicken is very, very personal. He thinks about his Mama Lucille's chicken from when he was a kid, and he said he really wanted to create a brand to pay homage to his mom. And every time I'm with him and his mother, Mama Lucille comes up to me and says, thank you for running the family business. So it's really, really phenomenal.
Josh, there are so many instances of celebrities or athletes that get involved in the restaurant business, and it's their name, and there's all this hoopla, and then you go and you taste the food, and you're like, oh my God, that is the worst thing I've ever tasted. But
have you ever tasted anything you didn't like?
Well, me, but I'm special. But I mean, the reviews about Big Chicken across the board are, yeah, it's got the hoopla, it's got the name, but it's really, really good.
So you guys have to be scalable, meaning that you have to duplicate your food in your locations, which means because it's easy to make great food in one kitchen. It's not so easy when you've got 100 employees following, for lack of a better word, a recipe. How do you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, look, first, going back to what was said a minute ago, we knew when we started the chain, Shaquille is going to drive so much trial. People come in for the first time because of Shaquille, but they're not going to keep coming back because of Shaquille, right? No one says, I really don't like it, but I like the guy, so I'm just going to keep going back over and over again.
Right. That's a great point. I didn't think that's a great point because they'll come try it on endorsement, but you got to keep them there.
No, correct. So we really needed to make sure that our food had all this flavor, that it was consistent, that it was food worthy of the Shaquille O'Neal name, but also food worthy and craveable enough where people would want to keep coming back. So that for us was really key. The way we got at that, when you have someone like Shaquille, you say, okay, I need to focus on the unsexy stuff first. And we really put a lot of focus on the supply chain. Me coming from 20 plus years working for suppliers, we said, all right, we need to make sure that we have a broadline distributor that makes sense nationally in Cisco. We need to make sure we're working with our chicken provider nationally, our breading provider nationally, and try to get as much of this stuff pre-done and automated into the restaurants so that we can maximize our probability of consistency.
Where is the closest one to us, as I need to know?
Because we're hungry and we're almost starving.
Done. And what states are you in, and where is your footprint now?
Yeah, we are on both coasts. We're in the middle. In San Diego, which is where I think you guys are at.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the naval base in San Diego.
You're where?
The naval base.
The naval base.
Mike's been detained there. So you got 350 locations, man. How does that feel? I mean, honestly.
No, we have 350 that have been sold, right?
But still, I mean, that's got to feel. You sit back and go, how did that happen? Because that is the definition of success in your business. Also maintaining a quality product, quality stores and franchisees. I mean, you're juggling kittens every day. It's amazing how you guys are doing this. So my question is going to be, what do you look forward to most in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, look, 2025, we currently have about 50 stores open. We're going to open another 30 to 35 next year, give or take. We are going more internationally next year. We're going to enter Canada in a big way, Central America, potentially the Middle East. But most importantly, it's just continuous improvement on the model that we've got and continuing to make sure Shaquille is proud of the brand. And you're going to see a lot more fun out of us next year, especially as it pertains to some cool advertising kind of stuff on
well, speaking of which, Mike could be your Mike, by the way, Middle East is not Detroit. It's the Middle
East. Oh, it's not? Okay. All right.
He'll drop into any of the locations.
Yeah, Josh, we need to get you and Shaq in studio and also explore making...
the Costa, which is a taco inside of a taco over a chicken sandwich.
I like the name
a jelly roll and the taco underneath, and that's the Costa.
I like the name of Biz Chicken. Hello.
Oh, Big Biz Chicken.
Writes itself.
Hey, Josh, you come back with us a little bit. We'd love to talk to you. Love to have you in the studio, man. Appreciate it so much. His name is Josh Halpern. Big Chicken.
Thanks.
Take a Big Chicken.
I'm telling you, it's spreading like wildfire.
How can it not?
Yeah. We continue from the Loft 100 studios. Also in over 175 countries, all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, glad you're along for the ride. Costa, Marybird Godwin on this side of the bar, and of course right there, Sully.
One of our most seasoned guests on the set. Do you remember the word crowdfunding many years ago?
Yep.
Alon Goren was an expert in crowdfunding, and then of course got pivoted over to cryptocurrency, digital currency, and blockchain. And he's here in the studio. What's up, buddy?
Finally.
You've been with us like for 10 years.
I know.
So great to see you.
Yeah.
So there was a time you did events where you brought people together that were pitching deals and such in crowdfunding and also in blockchain. And we had an opportunity to do a couple shows in your.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Is that business still a viable business for meeting investors and deals?
I think it is, but for me and my business, I realized the more intimate stuff, was more valuable, right? The juice wasn't worth the squeeze at the convention center.
Well, it's super fun and stuff, but look, there's a lot of overhead in that thing, and you got guys with badges that are wandering through the hallways like, hey, where's the meet and greet? Have you been to a convention lately? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got.
We used to do big biz show to go.
Yeah.
Well, because let's face it, you go to a convention, it's like it feels like you're at a convention, and next thing you know, you're overserved and you're on the mic on live radio.
Well, it seems like conventions nowadays are just, hey, how much can I drink and eat on my boss's dime?
But you also call that Mike Tuesday.
Pretty much.
So
that was always the case, though. I mean, you think back I was doing event planning in the 90s, and it was
some
like
trade shows have merit where you.
For sure.
Was your event planning basically a restaurant? It was a restaurant business. It was like booze and food?
No, we were a destination management company, and we handled big corporate groups.
Destination management. That's like a gardener being a landscape architect.
It's a real thing, a DMC.
How dare you?
Hey, Alon, so you and I have talked about this a million times. You've been one of our most frequent guests over the years. It's really interesting how we talk about digital currency. Like, oh my God, when's it going to happen? But I've had the same $40 in my wallet the whole time.
Yeah.
We live in a world of digital currency right now. We're not using. Is it the same? Can we? Because we got to on-ramp this thing sometime because you know it's going to happen, right?
Well, remember when we first talked about it? I remember calling in. We talked about it. You had the siren blaring in the background.
Yeah, right.
The cops are coming for you.
Yeah. Because there's no regulation. We're thinking, okay, let's just make something up.
But as Americans, we're like, isn't it digital already? Who goes to the bank anymore and all that? And it's actually one of the reasons why I didn't, and maybe you didn't, and a lot of our friends didn't buy Bitcoin earlier, because we're like, hey, for when bombs are being dropped on another country, we understand Bitcoin there, but we're Americans, we don't need to. And then it took us till 2016, 2017 to go, oh wait, this does actually apply to us too, and it's a good investment.
Because dollars are a fiat currency. It's a perception of how much the dollar is worth.
Yep.
Crypto is a perception of how much this is worth. I think what scared people in the first place was lack of regulation. But now, I feel like there's an insiders club that understands it. Like back in, a lot of people got in without actually having to be an expert. I sort of feel now, you kind of got to be in the inside club to really understand the ins and outs of it right now, because it's more of a sophisticated trading platform than it was before.
If you're trading and going in and out of all the different altcoins and stuff like that, you definitely need to be fully engaged.
So talk about legal tender as crypto. So if you invest crypto into a startup company, for example, Mike's Tequila Factory and Mayo Dippin' Sauce, and he needed $5 million for everything, ancillary items, FF&E, labor, and stuff like that, and you invest in crypto, how does that translate to legal tender for a company like that?
So, in this case, am I investing my crypto into his company,
or
is he giving me? Okay, so if you're investing crypto, the biggest problem and why there's a lot of money on the sideline right now waiting for regulation is because if I sell my crypto, even if I use it to buy something, it's as if I'm selling it for dollars and giving him the dollars. And that means if I've been holding for a long time, I owe capital gains tax and taxes on what I'm selling. Because nobody is,
you're right.
No government agency has taken responsibility and says, yes, this is a currency, we'll treat it as a currency, or yes, this is a commodity, we'll treat it as a commodity. Nobody knows for sure.
But that's going to, that has to happen. It is so, I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, cryptocurrency and the blockchain are so transparent, there's no more need for a Federal Reserve at that point. Well, I mean, if you think
is that why
it's got to. I mean,
that's a part of it.
It's got to be here, though. I mean, we must be like right there, don't you think?
Well, there is things like USDC, right? On all of the exchanges, they use USDC, not US dollars, so that they can have a token swap for a token. And USDC is just $1 is actually in a bank for every USDC token. At least that's what they claim.
It's a backed currency.
It's backed. but there's no bank that can show you the same audit that says Wells Fargo has $1 for every dollar you have in the bank. They're way over leveraged. So it's actually way more responsible than the current system.
And I think there's going to be a tipping point where people go, I get it. It's going to happen that fast. We're like, okay, I realize what's happening. We're not just making something out of nothing here, because in the Seychelles Islands they trade dolphin teeth for food. I mean, that's their currency. And I think what's interesting here is what you just said was, if I only held stock in my account, that no cash, and I did my business by selling stock to buy groceries, selling stock to buy gas, selling stock to invest, then you are saddled with short-term, long-term capital gains. Your cost basis, I mean, it's complicated. So how do we bridge that? There's got to be the next step there. Because look at you guys are crypto investors. How are you going to deal with that value chain?
Well, here's the thing though with stocks. If I did that with stocks, it's one thing. But let's say I hold $1 million worth of Sully Entertainment Group stock, right? And I decide to start a fund, and I want to put that stock in the fund when I start the fund. With Bitcoin, I can't do that because nobody has said that's what this is.
So is that the limiting factor? Is the adoption the limiting factor right now in your mind of a legal currency?
For being a legal currency, yes and no, because there's countries like El Salvador that went, you know what, we don't trust that the U.S. government is doing funny business.
You used that example
money,
several years ago, which is actually right. I mean, they used crypto because they didn't trust the dollar or their whatever it's called.
Or they couldn't at least trust the administration to not continue to print money and inflate the dollar. And if that's what they're using in their country, they didn't want to only use that. So now they use Bitcoin as well. They have one of the largest actual reserves of value as any South American country now.
Okay, there's a news story about a girl on social media influencer, the Hawk Tuah girl, that just got did she get arrested or something?
No, but she's.
So can you break that down for us? So what was the situation? Did she start a crypto thing or what?
Yeah, so I didn't do a super deep dive, but here's the high level. She has a name for herself. She marketed a token. I think it was Tuah or Hawk Tuah, something like that, right?
And about 15 of them.
A bunch of really smart people decided they're going to put lots of money into it. So put $100
because they're riding her influence, right?
They're going, hey, if Dogecoin can go up, they're all speculating.
It was like a meme. Right? It was like a meme.
It was a meme coin. So she launched a meme coin. But really, what I think when it's investigated, what will happen is there's probably some people who also scammed her. I think she probably got paid something because it was one of those things. There's a thing in crypto called pre-mining, right? There's fair launch where it's like, hey, I'm going to throw this on an exchange and then people will buy it and it'll create its own fair value.
Which is crypto's version of an IPO, correct?
Yes. And you can do that in more or less fair ways, right? But if you go, I'm launching a Sully token, but you take 90% of the tokens, you keep them in your back pocket, and then you dump them the second people start buying, that's what happened with that one. Hey. And some people lost a lot of money. And those
dude's got to eat.
Right.
Could she get arrested or have
I mean,
because it's a securities fraud or is it financial fraud? I mean, because
if you say out loud that it's going to go up in value, then you broke the law, right?
On this national TV show, I want to say Mike's reputation is going down in value. Just to be clear,
you can't get any lower than mine.
Can I before you get out of here today? Thanks, and we'd love to have you on every week. You're one of my favorite people, as you know. You're a friend. You're a colleague. I've followed your kind of career all along. Draper Goren Blockchain is basically a venture firm.
Yep.
In the blockchain crypto area. I mean, you're investing in crypto companies with crypto. Correct?
Sometimes
or not.
Yeah, usually we spend the dollars. We hold the crypto, right?
Okay.
So, but in general, what we do is we find the earliest stage people building in the space, not people launching meme coins and things like that. We're generally agnostic.
You're talking like payment systems or
exactly infrastructure. People building tokenized real estate platforms, new types of mortgage companies, new types of infrastructure for this new economy. And the way I have a slide in the deck that says no one starts an internet company anymore, right? Every company is an internet company now. That's where we're going to be in a few years. Nobody's going to start a blockchain company. Just everyone will use a database that's actually trusted. And that's what we believe. And so we're investing in the earliest stage companies in that space, and we're long, right?
Okay, so and the last question. Do you still believe that blockchain is the most transparent infrastructure to conduct transactions? Because if so, the real estate changes eventually. Car sales change it. Anything that has a commission changes because I give you $1, you give me a potato, it's right there. Is that happening, you think? Do you still believe that?
I believe it so much so that we just started a company called Ivory. It stands for AI Valuation of Real Estate. Wow. But it's going to value everything, not because that's on the blockchain, because everything is going to be digital. Right. And if you can't trust and have a timestamp of when a value of something happened, how do you trust?
How will quantum computing affect Bitcoin?
Oh, there's a 50 cent raise.
I'm sorry, seriously, that's a whole
question.
show.
And how about the Southern Hemisphere? Do you feel worse about yourself when he's here?
I do. I didn't say 4 words.
And I love him. He's handsome. He's also.
I'm the dumbest man in the room.
Hey, what about the defraculator system?
The flux capacitor.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm making up half of it.
Draper and Goren blockchain. You can come on anytime you want, pal. Good to see you. Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com. See you in a minute.
We are in sunny Southern California inside the Loft 100 studios. It is the Big Biz Show. Coming along during this holiday season, Christmas quickly approaching. Costa, our executive producer, Greg Todorov, and of course, Sully.
Great to see you today. 125 million TV homes strong across the country. Every weeknight, and that's not to mention Bloomberg El Financiero, Bloomberg EU, which I anticipated starting before the end of the year. Looks like starting on January 17th, which will be interesting. So you stinky Europeans, we're on the way. Yep. See you in a minute. I have to say that this year, the last 4 years have been the democratization of surfing. Rick went, while we were recording our last album, to Waco Surf in Waco, Texas. And this whole time we heard about this place in Palm Springs called Palm Springs Surf Club, but it didn't occur to us that it was the same sort of thing. And here comes Mike Costa, eating some Funyuns, dipping them in mayo, thinking, you know what, I should try surfing sometime. Or maybe I'll just start bellyboarding instead. And comes up with the notion of having the CEO, the chief navigator at the Palm Springs Surfing Club coming there. His name is Michael Hung, and he joins us. And I got to tell you, we've been so excited about having you guys on the air. But if you look at just the website, look no further than right in the middle of the desert, the high desert in California. You've got a surfing wave. Michael, thanks for joining us, man. Good to see you.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon, gentlemen. How is everything today?
Great to see you. So listen, the interesting part of this is I call it the democratization of surfing. Now we're bringing surfing to everybody in the U.S. and internationally, not just the coast. Talk about that a little bit. How did Palm Springs Surf Club start?
The surf club started with a group named the Pono Group. They are just a bunch of core surfers that are coming from the coast of California, and they had an opportunity to build a surf pool out here in Palm Springs. The property at the Palm Springs Surf Club used to be a fully functioning water park, so they've retrofitted the park as well as the pool to create a great surf pool as well as an incredible resort with restaurants, a lazy river, bars, cabanas. So really beautiful property.
Chef Hong, you look at your resume and all the incredible, very, very famous restaurants that you have worked at. How did you end up at the Palm Springs Surf Club?
That's an interesting question. I honestly did not know that the surf club existed when it first opened earlier this year. And then I met with the owners early in the summer, and they toured me at the property. And it was, it's a pretty spectacular property. I haven't really seen anything like that in my career. So I was really excited to come on board and be a part of this project and bring some real vision to the food and beverage operation.
Hey, Michael, so talk about the technology for the wave for a second. Is it how long do the waves last? Is it rights and lefts? How many people can go? Is there a private session? Is it all public? Give us a little idea.
We have a very advanced system. It's got 16 motors that use pneumatic pressure to lift and drive down the water in the pool. And because of the way that all of these 16 motors are set up, we're really able to create an infinite number of waves, or infinite variety of waves. We just have to, the Surf Patrol, one of their favorite jobs is testing and creating waves. So they're in the pool playing around with different settings. Right now, I believe we have about 20 waves that are programmed in, from anywhere from intermediate level all the way to the professional surf level. We have waves that run all the way left across the pool, all the way right. We've got a center break that splits out. We call that the A-frame.
And is the bottom geometry like a delta? Is it like a reef, or is it all done through the
It is formed so that it does mimic a reef. Yes. So the center is a little more shallow than the outside of the pool.
Right. And is this freshwater, saltwater? Is it a combination of both, or?
It is freshwater. Yes, we have freshwater. It's chlorinated. We've got all of the sanitation systems. Up and running.
Greg's question is when we go.
Yeah, Chef, let's address the 800-pound gorilla in the room right now. How can I get these three out, not only to enjoy your culinary delicacies, but to get them up on the wave? I personally go to the beach, and people call Greenpeace and try to roll me back in the water. These three can actually surf, so that's my goal, is to maybe give them an early Christmas present and say, yes, you can go out and you can try the wave.
If you guys are interested, you've got my contact information. Let's get on a phone call. We'll get you out here.
We got our national TV. Talk about some events you guys have coming up there. You have events actually going to the surf club.
Absolutely. We have a large property. It's 13 acres, so we can hold plenty of events in many different venues. What I'm really most excited for is, of course, New Year's Eve is coming up, and we're doing a big bash. We're doing a prefix family style service dinner, which is going to have all of the high end stuff that you would like to see on New Year's, as well as a sparkling wine toast. And then afterwards, we've got an incredible DJ party that's going to go all the way into the night, as long as the cops let us go.
Hey, Mike.
Our DJ is actually a former, I believe, professional surfer. Her name is Sam Blackie.
No kidding.
So really excited to have her come to the property.
So, you bring up musical events. Musical events are starting to show up at all these surf clubs, surf ranches and Waco Surf and such across the country. Are you planning on bringing some musical acts here coming in 2025 to sort of round out the entertainment out there? Because it seems to be a perfect fit.
There's so much opportunity for different types of entertainment. So I think you're correct. It's such a great fit with the surf pool because, just as an example, we've done activations with Golden Voice, where we hosted a mini concert during Coachella, and we had the surfers going in the background, and just the whole backdrop of the event was perfect to speak to both the desert, to speak to the youth culture, and also to speak to the core surfers who were really involved with it.
Hey, last question. So you mentioned water park. So Palm Springs Surf Club has got a water park itself, along with the surfing. Talk about that real quick before you go, because that's a big part of what you guys do.
Yeah, we have a pretty incredible park. In addition to all the other things that we're doing, we have 3 adult water slides, 2 baby water slides, an amphitheater that seats 1,200 people. We've also got an island pool with a full-service bar and restaurant, and then a lazy river.
Full-service bar and restaurant, Mike. So Mike is coming with us after all. Michael Hung is his name. Michael, I hope you'll come back with us. We're going to bring cameras next time.
Yeah,
Mike. Go out there and hang with you.
God.
I expect to see you guys soon in the new year.
Thank you, buddy. Michael Hung's his name. Name of the company is Palm Springs Surf Club. Can you get that? I know we're doing day after Christmas.
Oh my God!
There.
I know we're doing
we are doing a show the day after Christmas.
Big Biz show to go. Mike will be producing from the belly bar out in the middle.
Do whatever you want.
That does it for us. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow.